welcome back to InsideFlix. This is our latest episode about the box office. This time we're going to be talking about the MLK weekend. And I'm here with my brother, Raymond, and my other brother, Mike, is under the weather, and he won't be joining us this weekend. So let's just do this one real quick, starting off the top 5. Number 1 film in America is Avatar: The Way of Water with $39.8 million. Number 2 is Megan with $21.6 million. Number 3 is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish with $18.9 million. Number 4 is A Man Called Otto with $15.4 million. And rounding out the top 5, it's Plane with $11.8 million. Raymond, what's your thoughts on this week?
Well, I mean, it's good to see Avatar, I guess, still holding in there, and Megan having a strong second weekend. But what really jumps out at me is number 3 and number 4, Puss in Boots, just going up and from last weekend, and
since
having it's just been having extremely strong legs, and it's kind of shocking because earlier on when the movie came out in December, it was seen like the movie was going to kind of just go away pretty quick, and maybe people were going to discover it like on home video what am I talking about? Home video. People don't buy physical media anymore. I guess people were. I thought people would discover it on streaming or something like that, and but I mean, it seems like everyone was watching Avatar, and now people are catching up on everything that they didn't see during December, and Puss in Boots is that movie.
Well, Puss in Boots is, as from what we all know, it's doing very well because of the reviews, and also it's just one of those kids films. And then when a kids film, is good, it's bound to stay on board throughout the box office. I mean, it has longer legs than most films.
But also, I wouldn't be surprised if Puss in Boots maybe even sticks around to sometime in February or something like that, because I'm pretty sure it's going to end up getting announced that it's going to get nominated for Best Animated Film.
Oh, sure.
And I wouldn't be surprised if that gives it a boost with older audiences. Maybe some adults might want to check it out, because it seems like a more kid-friendly animated film than something like Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Yeah, but we also got to mention that it's already on VOD. So this is just phenomenal for Universal, because they are also on the number 2 slot with Megan, which did not drop that much at all. I mean, it dropped less than 40%.
This is kind of what I was thinking it was going to make opening weekend, and it did it on its second weekend.
Yeah, so far it's made us over 60 million domestic wise. So it's another huge hit for Universal and another huge hit for Blumhouse.
And the other big shocker for me was A Man Called Otto, because I honestly, this movie was doing so poorly when it was playing in limited screens. Mm-hmm. I don't remember how many screens it was playing at, but it was mostly, I think, in LA and New York, and it was just doing awful numbers. And amongst me, you, and Mike, we were kind of talking behind the scenes that we thought this A Man Called Otto failing shows that Tom Hanks doesn't really have an audience anymore. But this shows that he does have an audience. They're just not really. They're not in LA and New York.
Yeah, I just couldn't. It did gain over 3,000 screens this weekend, and like you said, it did much better than we expected, and I think the advertising for this film is much more appealing than I expected, because it
doesn't it kind of look like a family-friendly version of Gran Torino?
Gran Torino, I don't know about that. But it's a typical Tom Hanks film, and I enjoy its success, and I look forward to seeing it and once it gets available for me. Let's go back to Avatar. Avatar was once again a huge success, and it's getting up there with reaching the 2 billion mark. It's going to be close this weekend. It's most likely going to reach that this next weekend. But this weekend is also the football weekend, and it has This is going to be the lowest weekend in a long time. I would think. So, but this weekend, this past weekend, this Martin Luther King weekend was very successful with all top 5 films because it's been a long time since all top 5 films have been over the 10 million mark. So, very impressive weekend for Martin Luther King weekend.
And I guess, to round off the top 5, let's talk really quick about Gerard Butler's new film, Plane, which I guess did about what people were expecting it to do. But for me, this is kind of disappointing. I really thought, with how much marketing I've been seeing for this movie, I thought this was going to, at the very least, make like 15 to 20 million. But it made about half. It's not a bad number. It's just I really thought that this was going to be one of the better performing Gerard Butler movies.
That's true, but he had a couple ones that came straight to video, well, Netflix and stuff like that. So it's
There's
just
an oversaturation of Gerard Butler.
Yeah, it seemed like the last film that it was on Netflix, so that Missing Wife one wasn't very good, and the one with the
Greenland.
Oh yeah, it has been a while since Greenland. So, but once again, he produces the film, and it still is a small success for it. But I imagine it'll be much better on VOD, and it's going to be another hit for him, no matter what. Because it couldn't cost that much.
Yeah, I think the movie looks like a solid kind of 90s throwback. I'm looking forward to watching it. I don't know if I'm going to get around to seeing it in theaters, but I'm looking forward to watching it eventually.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the rest of the top 10?
All right. Coming in at number 6 is House Party. And number 7 is Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Number 8 is The Whale. Number 9 is Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody. And the number 10 movie is Walter Viraya. And that's the Indian action comedy.
I've never heard of that movie, but
I know. It's only 350 theaters, and to make
it did really well. Yeah.
Just another
3,000 per screen. It's very solid.
Hit, yeah. But House Party.
Yes, let's talk about House Party. Very disappointing number. This is actually pretty much right in line, though, with what I was expecting the movie to come in at. But that being
zero marketing.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. But all that being said, this is a movie that had like what you just said, like literally no money spent on the marketing, and it was a movie originally made for HBO Max. So, and seeing that the movie was only playing in 1,400 theaters, it didn't do horribly. It did make 2.8 thousand per screen.
And you actually went out to go see it, right?
Yeah, I did went out to go out see it. And the movie is not good. But that being said, I thought it was going to be a lot worse.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's a moderate thumbs up for you right now.
Yeah, it's more. It's still a thumbs down. But,
okay.
But I thought it was going to be a lot worse.
Sure, absolutely.
And but I guess the other thing to bring up in the top 10 is The Whale crossed 10 million.
Yeah, that's true. Another A24 success, and hopefully it sticks in there with all the Oscar buzz around it.
I know. I really hope that Brendan getting nominated for Best Actor will give the movie a boost. Mm-hmm. Personally, speaking for myself, The Whale is one of my favorite movies of the year, and I hope people, give it a chance and check it out.
Sure. Now, you also want to talk about the number 11 film that opened up which was IFC Films, Skinamarink.
Yes, I mostly just want to bring this up because it's kind of like a shoestring budget horror film that was made for $15,000.
$15,000?
Yes, and there's not really like any actors in the movie. It's kind of like
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, it's very an atmospheric thing. That's I think from the perspective of a child, and it's kind of like about like a child being like trapped in the house or something like that. And it's all from the perspective of a baby basically. Okay. But the movie made $818,000. So they only spent $15,000 to make it. So It's a nice profit.
It is. I would take it any day. Yeah. Of
Yeah.
course. All right, let's talk about next weekend. Like I said, it's NFL playoff weekend, and it's most likely going to be a huge letdown as far as box office goes. But the only movie opening up wide is Missing. Other than that, expanding this weekend will be Alice Darling. Also expanding is The Sun, which is Hugh Jackman's latest drama, and Women Talking.
Yeah, so Missing. I think the movie's going to do well. I mean, Searching was a surprise hit, and I think it's kind of built up an audience over the years. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was like a hit on Netflix when it showed up on there, and I don't know. I just have a feeling that it's going to do better than the first one because I think it's going to reach that kind of like social media kind of TikTok audience this time around. So I think the movie will come in at 8 to 10 million, which is really good for that movie.
I think that'd be great. I mean,
Yeah.
Especially this weekend. But yeah, you're right. I mean, other than Avatar and Megan, I mean, this is the only like young audience.
Oh yeah, and I think Avatar and Megan are probably still going to be one and number 2 again. And who knows? Maybe Puss in Boots will be number 3 again.
Yeah, this might be another big weekend for Universal again.
Yeah.
With those two. So
yeah, maybe Missing will come in at number 5.
Yeah. All right, opening up on limited release is on Sunday, The Wandering Earth 2, which is China's Lunar New Year. This is a sequel to one of the huge hits over in China, and I don't know if it'll make a mark in this box office, but
It might come in like number 9 or 10.
Sunday only. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with it enough.
That's true, but it was a huge hit overseas. So, also opening up in limited release is Jesse Eisenberg's directorial debut, When You Finish Saving the World, which stars Julianne Moore and Finn Wolfhard. From what I've been hearing, the movie is not very good, but it's
I heard that too.
It is an A24 film, so you never know. I mean, how it'll do, but
You can find an audience,
it
especially
could very
with that cast.
Yeah, it's got a big cast, and Finn Wolfhard is still, Stranger Things star. So, And streaming this weekend, you could probably just find Jung-E on Netflix, and nothing else stands out to me. And that's about it for this weekend. Thank you for listening, and be sure to come back next weekend where Mike will hopefully feel better, and he'll be joining us again. Thanks again. Bye-bye.